We pay homage to the Blessed One, Supremely Enlightened Buddha. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. We pay homage to our teacher, Lokuswamin Wahanse. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So, dear Dhamma friends, now we are going to learn this sutta from the Anguttara Nikaya, Book of the Sevens. The name of the sutta is Arakasutta. Buddha teaches here, Bhuta pubbam bhikkhave arako nama satto ahosi. Chittakaro kameshu vitarago. Okay, so Buddha teaches here, once upon a time, or monks, there was a teacher called Araka. He was a religious founder and was free of sensual desire. Kameshu vitarago. So this teacher was not Buddha, he was not an enlightened one, but still he renounced the material world, and he tried to practice meditation, and he cultivated loving kindness and compassion towards all beings, and he also developed some sort of concentration, and his development of the concentration helped him to overcome the desire for sense pleasures. That is the meaning of kameshu vitarago. So those kind of spiritual masters appear in India from time to time, even at times when the fully enlightened ones, the Buddhas, awakened ones are absent. So these kind of teachers and masters, they teach what they have realized, and he had many hundreds of disciples. He had students. So he was teaching what he has realized about this life. So he didn't know about Four Noble Truths. He had not realized them. But he knew the truth of this life to some extent, not in a very deep aspect like the enlightened ones have. So this is the teaching he gave to his students. Appaka Brahmana Jeevitam. Life as a human is short, parittam, brief, lahukang, fleeting. This life as a human will end soon. Bahu dukkham. This life is full of suffering. Bahu payasam. This is full of distress. Mantayang bodha tabbam. Be thoughtful and wake up. Kattabang kusalam. You must do good things. You must practice wholesome qualities. Charitabam brahmacharya. You must practice the spiritual path, spiritual life. Because, what is the reason? He taught, Nati jatasya amarana. No one can escape death. That was his teaching. And he used these powerful similes to emphasize his message, to highlight the meaning of it. It is like a drop of dew on a grass tip. When the sun comes up, it quickly evaporates and does not last long. In the same way, he called his students Brahmins. In the same way, Brahmins' life as a human is like a dewdrop. It is brief and fleeting, full of suffering and distress. So you should understand this. That's the meaning of be thoughtful. You should understand this impermanence of this life. And wake up means You should think about the meaning of this life. You should always do good things. You should practice the spiritual life, lead the spiritual life, for no one born can escape death. So that is the first simile, okay? Life is like a dewdrop. You understand that? And the teacher Araka used the second simile. It is like when the rain falls heavily, the bubbles quickly vanish and don't last long. When the rain falls heavily on the ground, you see water bubbles, they appear and disappear, appear and disappear, right? So in the same way, life as a human is like a water bubble. It is brief and fleeting, full of suffering. So you should understand this impermanence of life and understand the priorities of life. Do good actions, lead the spiritual life, for because no one born can escape death. So the second simile is about these water bubbles. The third simile, he thought, it is like a line drawn in water. It vanishes quickly and doesn't last long. In the same way, life as a human is like a line drawn in water, will quickly vanish, will not last long. You should understand this impermanence of life, and you should understand the true purpose. You should do good things, you should help others, you should be kind, you should be generous, and that is the meaning of what he taught. You should practice wholesome qualities, and you should practice the spiritual path, because everyone will leave one day. So that is the third simile, right? Then the fourth simile the teacher Araka used to encourage his students. It is like a mountain river traveling far, flowing fast, carrying all before it. It doesn't turn back, not for a moment, a second, an instant, but runs, rolls, and flows on like a mountain river, without stopping. It's flowing and flowing. In the same way, life as a human is like a mountain river. Without stopping, it reaches towards the end, right? So you should understand the impermanence of this life. You should not waste it. You should not harm others. You should not kill others. You should not steal others' belongings. That's the meaning. You should understand the true meaning of this life. Do good things, because this will end soon. Okay? It is like a strong man who has formed a glob of spit on the tip of his tongue. He could easily spit it out. It doesn't take time. In the same way, life as a human is like a glob of spit on the tip of the tongue. This life will end soon, so do good things. Don't harm others. Lead the spiritual life. Suppose there was an iron cauldron that had been heated all day. If you tossed a scrap of meat in, it would quickly vanish and not last long. In the same way, life as a human is like a scrap of meat, thrown on a heated iron plate, and it will quickly vanish. So in the same way, this life will end soon. Do good things, don't harm others, be generous, practice kindness, lead the spiritual life. So that is the meaning. It is like a cow being led to the slaughterhouse. With every step, she comes closer to the slaughter, closer to death. In the same way, life as a human is like a cow being slaughtered. It is brief and fleeting, full of suffering and distress. Be thoughtful and wake up. do what is good and lead the spiritual life, for no one born can escape death. So this is how the teacher Araka taught the Dhamma, the teaching, to his students. So who was explaining this? That there was a teacher named Araka in the past. The Gautama Buddha was revealing this. He was explaining about this past incident to the monks. And explaining this, how the teacher Araka taught the Dhamma, Buddha added, at that time, monks, the human beings had a lifespan of 60,000 years. So this is a cycle, you understand? When 2,500 years ago, when the Buddha was alive, the average lifespan of a human being was 100 years, 100 to 120. Do we have now that same? No, it has reduced up to 70, 80 or so, right? So this is the cycle. But for that gradual decrease, it takes years and years, thousands of years, right? It took 2,500 years for the drop. Now we have. So like that, it takes so many years. We can't even count the, the years that takes for such a decrease. So this will decrease. Buddha has predicted in the future this 80 will go down to 70. It will go down to 60. It will go down to 50. It will go down to 40. Still go down to 30. Go down to 20. Go down to 10. This is the Buddha's prediction. As we always share with you, there is a connection between the lifespan and the wholesome qualities of human beings. When unwholesome qualities increase and the wholesome qualities decrease, that affects the lifespan. So now how this world is moving into the future is that the unwholesome qualities are rapidly increasing. Unwholesome qualities means anger, hatred, wars, killing, destruction. Unfortunately, this is the future of the human world. So when these unwholesome qualities are increasing, the lifespan decreasing. That's how the cycle works. And the Buddha predicts that when the lifespan is 10, there will be a very big transformation of the human mind. They will get a different perception about other human beings. There will be lots of hatred in the world. So then, after a huge destruction, there will be a time that they will realize we should not kill each other. Everybody is our own brothers and sisters. We should not kill each other. But they will realize it after a long time in the future, not in the near future. So after that, they will start keeping the first precept, the remaining humans. What is the first precept? Abstaining from killing. That's the time they understand the importance of compassion, importance of the love, caring for each other. So now they have decided to keep the initial awesome quality, protecting others' lives, and that will affect their lifespan. And then the lifespan will increase from 10 to 20. So it will take very long time to happen. And like that, the cycle goes. 20, 30, 40, 60, like that it goes. up to 80,000 years. So this, according to this sutta, this happened when the lifespan was 60,000 years. And Buddha teaches at that time girls could be married at 500 years of age. And human beings only had 6 afflictions, only 6 diseases or illnesses. Sitang, Unhang, Jigacha, Pipasa, Ucharo, Pasao. Cold was a disease for them, affliction for them. Heat was an affliction. Hunger was an affliction. Thirst was an affliction. And the need to defecate and urinate. Only those 6 afflictions were present. And Buddha teaches. But even though humans were so long lived with so few afflictions, the teacher Arakasutta still taught in this way. Life as a human is short. Think about the wisdom of wise people, the way they perceive the truth of this life, and how delusional we are. Life is brief and fleeting, full of suffering and distress. Be thoughtful and wake up. Do what is good and lead the spiritual life, for no one born can escape death. Buddha teaches, these days it would be right to say, these days this teaching is more useful, Buddha teaches, more appropriate, because these days, so what is the teaching? This teaching, life as a human is short, brief, and fleeting, is full of suffering and distress. We should think about this, think about the true meaning of this life. We should do good things, follow the spiritual life, because no one can escape death. Buddha teaches why this teaching is more appropriate to present day, because for these days a long life is 100 years or a little more. Remember, this statement was made by the Buddha 2500 years ago, right? This life is 100 years or a little more. Okay, so that is the first part of this sutta. So Buddha wanted to encourage all human beings to do good things, because this is the only refuge, only assurance to this life when it ends quickly. Doing good things, helping others, practicing kindness, compassion, right?
Bante, I'm just wondering, since right now, yeah, lifespan is decreasing because people are doing more unwholesome actions, healing, yes. So at the time when it became 10 years, like Bante said, like Buddha said, so what could trigger a change into increasing? So was there during that time, how did people realize that they should observe the first precept and they
Okay.
should not
Yeah.
kill anymore? What triggers? Thank you, Bante.
Yeah. What triggers is a mass destruction. Entire world will be in war, unfortunately. That's a part of that prediction. So imagine with this all these nuclear weapons, it's all meant for the destruction, unbelievable destruction. So then Buddha teaches this technology um, will be developed to such an extent that everybody will have these very destructive weapons, and then everybody will be, killing each other. And when majority of humans will be killed, and then remaining few humans will hide in some places, and then after this huge destruction. In the end, they will come out and they will see the dead bodies everywhere, destruction everywhere. Then they come to the senses. What have we done? We have killed our own brothers and sisters. We should not do this again. That is the trigger. Unfortunately, they will not realize it till it's too late. Lessons.
There's a story. Thank you, Bhante.
About this King Ashoka, who did exactly what you were saying, went on mass destruction.
Yes.
And then when he saw everybody dead, I don't know what happened to him. He just realized how bad what he did was worse, like the worst thing he ever did. He was in many, many fights before them too, but that one fight, he turned it into, like, he started following the sun after that.
After that, yeah.
Yeah.
First, he was, his name was, people called him not Ashoka, first Chandasoka. Chandasoka means cruel Ashoka, cruel. So then, yes, he saw the destruction. He saw the dead bodies everywhere because he wanted to be the great emperor, like to be the emperor of entire the subcontinent. So when he saw the blood everywhere, and so he was so upset, but he didn't know how to find peace in mind. So he was on the balcony of his mansion, and it's in the history. It says everything. And then one day he saw this novice monk, 7-year-old monk, walking peacefully with a calming look, peaceful look, and the king was impressed because he was already in great pain and he needed some relief. Just the sight of that novice monk changed his mind. So then he also had a past life connection with that monk. So then he invited the monk to the palace, and then the monk taught him the Dhammapada, the Buddha's teaching, the Dhammapada, the very famous book. He taught few verses from it, Appamadavagga, about the chapter on diligence, avoiding unwholesome qualities and practicing wholesome qualities, the importance of understanding the true meaning of this life, the meaningless nature of worldly things, worldly materials and all these things. So then the king realized the Dhamma. That's when he completely transformed. From that, did you know that part? Yeah.
So much for Buddhism.
Yeah, he completely changed, and then he really wanted to follow this path because this just listening to those few verses of Dhamma gave relief to him, and then he became a follower of the Buddha, and he completely changed, and he wanted to spread this teaching to all the people in India, and later not only India, he is the one who sent Dhamma to Sri Lanka. You didn't know that?
No.
You should have more faith in him then. He is the one who sent the Dhamma to Sri Lanka. Not with an ordinary person, with his only son. His only son's name is Mahindra. He became a monk, and the Emperor Ashoka sent his son, now a monk, to Sri Lanka with the Dhamma. And that is how today we know the Dhamma.
And
for his entire life. When he was 32 years old, he came to Sri Lanka and he never returned. And there's a stupa for Arahant Mahinda Thero in Sri Lanka. And my teacher started reconstructing it now. It has almost finished now. Yeah, on the top of the mountain where the Arahant mind first landed in Sri Lanka and met with the Sri Lankan king, Devanatissa. Yeah.
We went to the stone belt.
Yes.
That area,
No, remember we climbed the stairs onto the, there was a bigger stupa on the top of the mountain.
Yes.
So beside that, there, when we went there, it was just ruins. Just the foundation of the stupa remained, but now it has been built to a huge stupa. No, that's where Arahant Mahinda landed. So that's small stupa is there, but this one is on the top of the mountain.
Going back to the destruction of the world, are we to understand that it is a physical destruction of the globe and the remaining human beings are in physical form or in consciousness?
No, they are like ordinary human beings. Yeah. Yeah, so that transformation took place in the Emperor Ashoka when he saw the destruction. Fortunately, there was a monk there to, teach him the Dhamma. But when this destruction happens in the future, there won't be any monks left. Not even Buddhists.
But Dhamma will continue to
No. Long before that, the Dhamma will disappear. Dhamma will disappear. Will disappear from the world. That means nobody will know the teachings of the Buddha. No, you cannot find anybody who practices it. Buddha teaches when the lifespan is 10, no one will even talk about merit or wholesome qualities, let alone somebody who's practicing those qualities. Even the word of merit, word of wholesomeness will disappear. The word, even the word will not remain.
So that sounds like nihilism. Nothing will exist. There will be no beliefs. There will be no religion.
No, there will be other doctrines and beliefs that would lead to killing.
Would lead to killing?
Yeah. That's dangerous.
So it's going to be a cruel place.
Definitely. Not a safe place.
I was just wondering, is there anything in that says when the what the timeline is between when there is no more Dhamma and when it will come again? Like when the next Buddha will be born into the earth?
Yeah, so the Dhamma will completely disappear when the lifespan is 10, and even before that, so it is disappearing gradually and will be no longer found in when of course when the lifespan is 10. And Buddha has, yes, definitely has given the time period when the future Buddha arises is when the lifespan is 80,000 years. The future Buddha will appear.
So how 80,000 years?
You cannot say how many years it's going to take to get there.
Oh, okay. But
it's
the human life has
uncountable years.
What happens with the people that already sort of had some Dhamma before they never became enlightened, or they never, so they're still maybe on this plane, but they have heard the Dhamma. What happens to them?
They will be safe in other heavenly worlds, but not in the human world.
Thank you, Bhante.
Okay.
What happens to the accumulation of past karmas?
They will ripen in other worlds. You had a question?
Yeah. That would be the resurrection.
Yeah. This is the Pali, the direct language the Buddha spoke in India at that time. And this is the translation. Yes, then he started following the Dhamma. So his wholesome qualities increased. And by the power of that wholesome qualities, the unwholesome qualities, the results of unwholesome qualities weakened. And then he kept supporting the Buddha's dispensation for the propagation of the teachings. So he started, so there were 8 stupas in India with the main portions of the relics after the cremation of the Buddha's the holy body. So he took most of the relics from 7 of those stupas, and he distributed so many relics all over India, and his goal was to build 80,000 stupas all over India. Even today, you can see hundreds of them all over India. Some are like as ruins, some have been excavated to some extent. You can see huge stupas, and all were built by Emperor Ashoka. And then he also initiated the first Dhamma Council with great arahants, and then he initiated the missionary, sending missionaries, the Dhamma propagation to other continents, like other places, Sri Lanka, and many of the other places in India. And also the history says that later he passed away, and then was reborn in Sri Lanka, and he became a monk and attained enlightenment. So he ended the cycle of rebirth.
But the entrance, that life, like the stream entrance?
In that life? No, I think that I don't know, but maybe he attained the stages of enlightenment, all of those stages of enlightenment in his next life, like after he took rebirth in Sri Lanka. Maybe, I don't know. I'm not sure about it.
How is it guaranteed?
Because even though he already accumulated lots of bad karma by killing lots of people, the good karma also was so powerful. That is the real purpose of this Dhamma path, as Buddha teaches. This Dhamma path has this power of weakening the results of bad karma and eventually completely delete the bad karma. That is the power of this Noble Eightfold Path. Like it happened to the serial killer Angulimala. He also killed so many people, but after that he became a monk and developed the Noble Eightfold Path. He practiced precepts, he meditated, he developed lots of compassion and loving kindness for beings. He generated new good karma, and this new good karma was so powerful that he attained enlightenment in that very life.
But is it possible to live by following good life, loving life, and the same time being successful?
Oh, definitely, yes. So you meant if you can live a good life following the Dhamma path, and at the same time you achieve success in the ordinary life. Yeah. Buddha actually encouraged the lay people who earn money who do jobs and do the ordinary life, the lead this ordinary life. Buddha encouraged them, saying you should not be lazy, you should earn money righteously, you should work hard. Like that, Buddha encouraged lay people. And also there were lots of rich people in the time of the Buddha, like the banker. There was a banker named Anathapindika, who was the chief lay attendant of the Buddha. He was very rich, and he was a disciple of the Buddha, and he also attained the first stage of enlightenment. And also another example, there was a very famous king in India at that time. His name was King Bimbisara. He was a king, and he attained the first stage of enlightenment. So it is possible. Definitely it's possible for you to achieve like wealth, gain all the success in the ordinary life, at the same time follow the spiritual path and attain stages of enlightenment. And another famous female lay devotee of the Buddha is Vishaka. She had many children, and she was from a very rich family, and she attained the first stage of enlightenment when she was just 7 years old. She built a huge monastery with 1,000 rooms for the Buddha and the monks. So that is the beauty of this path. And if you like to achieve speedy results, then there is a aspect of the path for that. So you become a monk or a nun. And the path is not only for monks and nuns, it's also for the lay people who live the ordinary life and, raise families, earn money, do jobs. Still, the enlightenment is possible for them as well. So there are two groups of the followers of the Buddha. The first group is monastics, and the second group is lay disciples. Right? That's why people like it, this path introduced by the Buddha.
Thank you, Bhante.
Okay, good. Yes. What do you mean it comes to you?
I say like suddenly your mind has opened to some natural laws of the Buddhist teachings, and it came naturally and without knowing, but it just without actually reading the book, but somehow you kind of knew. Because I don't know what you would call it, but enlightenment starts with the top shot to say.
So it's like this. You might experience some kind of like awakening things in your life, right? Due to some special incidents. But for some people, it will help them to start searching. It's not the complete answer you found. It's not the end of the journey of the spiritual path. It's just the beginning, and it reminds you that there is an advanced truth of this life. You should start searching for it. Then you start searching for those spiritual teachings, or the people who know about those teachings, the teachings that are taught by the Buddha, and then you start studying them, listening to those teachings, reading those discourses. It is just the beginning. Okay. So remember, Buddha taught that these days a long life is 100 years or a little more. Buddha continues, living for 100 years, there are just 300 seasons, 100 each of the winter, summer, and rains. Living for 300 seasons there are just 1200 months, 400 in each of the winter, summer, and rains. So 400 winter months, 400 summer months, and 400 rains. Living for 1200 months, there are just 2400 fortnights, Buddha teaches. 800 in each of the winter, summer, and rains. Living for 2400 fortnights, there are just 36,000 days. 12,000 in each of the summer, winter, and rains. Living for 36,000 days, you just eat 72,000 meals. 24,000 in each of the summer, winter, and rains, including when you are suckling at the breast and when you are prevented from eating. Things that prevent you from eating include when you are angry, you don't eat. When you are in pain, you don't eat. When you are sick, sometimes when you don't eat. Sabbath means when you observe 8 precepts, you don't take dinner. Or being unable to get food. Sometimes you don't have food. So Buddha teaches these are included in these 24,000. So, okay. So monks, for a human being with 100 years lifespan, I have counted the lifespan, the limit of the lifespan, the seasons, the years, the months, the fortnights, the nights, the days, the meals, and the things that prevent them from eating. So when you break down your entire life into these numbers, you will realize how many days you have already lived and how many remains, how many left, right? If you do the math, you will realize, oh, I don't have time to waste. That's the message here. So I have taught you everything Buddha teaches. I have clearly explained you how short this human life is and how many years left for you to live in this world if you are going to live for the average lifespan. Out of compassion, Buddha teaches here, this is beautiful. Yam bhikkave sattara karaniyang savakanang hitesina anukampaken anukampang upadaya. Out of compassion, I have done what a teacher, an enlightened one, should do, who wants what is best for their followers, students, disciples. Katang votang maya. Etani bhikkave rukkha mulani etani sunyagarani. Monks, here are these roots of trees and here are these empty hearts, the meditation rooms. Jayata, meditate, monk. Practice absorption means meditates. Ma pamadatta, don't be negligent. That means don't give priority to these pleasures. Don't think that these pleasures are the only thing that we should go after. Don't think that money is the only thing we should go after. Don't think that the fame is the only thing, the power is the only thing that we should go after. There are advanced truths in this life. There are advanced types of happiness in this life. So you should search for that. There is a true meaning of this life. You should work hard to find that. Buddha teaches, Ma pacha vipatisarino ahuvat. Don't regret it later. Don't regret it later. Because these material things, the money, the power, the fame, all these things will not guarantee a lasting happiness. Right? So if we dedicate our whole life to find this temporary happiness, eventually we will regret it. We will be remorseful. We will be unsatisfied. And so that is the message of the Buddha. This is ayang wo amhakang anusasani. This is my instruction to you. the enlightened one said so. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. This is a powerful sutta, right? Powerful message. So if we understand that this life is short and we need to find the answers for the problems in life before this life ends, this life, we will be more inclined to do good in this world. We will not harbor hatred towards others. We will not get jealous at others' achievements. We will just focus on good qualities. We will try to help others. We'll do lots of volunteering, practice lots of giving and sharing. Those kind of good things will be practiced. Unfortunately, many people don't understand it, and we don't learn lessons from the history. We never. The most unfortunate thing is that the ordinary mind thinks killing is a solution. Ordinary mind thinks. But Buddha never saw killing as a solution. Because when the mind says killing is a solution, it leads to wars. It leads to battles. But the ordinary mind never understands that killing is not a solution. Destruction is not a solution. Compassion is a solution. Forgiveness is a solution. Loving kindness is a solution. Patience is a solution. These wholesome qualities are in the solution side, right? Unwholesome qualities are never in the side of the solutions.
Just want to share something. Well, everybody knows that we have to do good, okay, to do all these wholesome deeds, and we will be retributed, okay, this life or next life. However, from what we see, Bante, just many really actual stories happening these days. So many people who are devoted and they are kind, they are nice, compassionate to others, but instead their family, they themselves, their life get afflicted. So in this kind, well, as a Buddhist, definitely I understand that it could be from the consequence of a past karma in his previous life, maybe. But we do not really have the ways to actually see, and to attest to that, right, Bante? Because we don't have the psychic power. Okay. So my thought is, with this happening, people would see and they seem to get discouraged instead of being encouraged to do good, because good people instead they got suffered. Okay, like this. Bante, maybe you can share with us so that some people who get couldn't understand these things happening can have the strength to continue and follow what Buddha wanted us to do
Right.
for good.
Right. Yeah. So when certain things happen in this life, when we face tragedies, and as you mentioned, some people who do not have deep Dhamma knowledge would sometimes think that we we haven't harmed anybody, we have lived a good life, we have helped many people, why these bad things happen to us, right? People ask like that. So but if you understand how this exists and works, this is not the very first time we have been born into this world, right? We have lived in so many different lives before, and we have spent time in different realms. We have lived as animals, we have lived as ghosts, we have lived as gods and goddesses, we have lived as hell beings, we have lived as humans. So it's a very complicated journey, right? When we come to the human world, Buddha teaches this is a realm where the beings experience a mixture of pain and pleasure. There are some realms the beings exclusively experience only the pain. For example, the realm of hell. There is no pleasure there, no happiness at all. It's only the pain. They are repaying for the consequences of their bad karma. And there is one world there you don't get any pain, only pleasure and happiness and joy, which is a heavenly world called Subhakin. When it comes to the human world and also the animal world, is Buddha categorizes as the realm where beings experience mostly painful feelings. Ghost world also same. When it comes to the human world, human beings are in a realm where they experience a mixture of pain and pleasure. So also it is important to understand that everything humans experience is not because of past karma. It's not the Buddha's teaching. And that was taught by a different religious teacher in the time of the Buddha. What he taught was everything experienced by humans is due to their bad karma. And Buddha rejected it. Buddha said it's wrong. Buddha even gave examples. Can you say that this is due to past karma? And then Buddha said, no, nobody will accept. The world will not accept. You cannot say you kill somebody. And Buddha said, I go to those groups of people who have that doctrine. And I ask, okay, if one of your people kills somebody and then the police come to you and try to put you in the jail, and you say, no, don't put me in the jail because I am not responsible for this. This is due to my bad past karma. Will anybody listen to you? And then Buddha said, no. So you cannot say like that. So Buddha says, no, it's wrong to say that everything happens in this life due to past karma. But for the most part, things happen due to the karma, not necessarily the past karma. The karma that is done in this very life also. So we have this history of past lives and the history of this life, right? Some parts of this life as well. So when we experience some things in this life, we need to understand. So there is a background for this. Even though we do good things in this life, if really bad things keep happening to us, it's not because the good actions don't have good results, but it just we cannot control the results. We cannot say, okay, I did good things, so I only need good results now. So like that, you cannot command the results. The results will come to you. Definitely results will come to you, but not at the time you want. Let's say you were doing lots of good things in this life and you expect good things for the good things happen to you in this very life. No, that's not how it's going to work. It may happen in this life or it may not. The happy results will definitely follow you, but not necessarily in this life, maybe in future life. Let's say you were doing so many good things and after death, and you had lots of problems, you have lots of pain in this life, but you kept doing good things. And after death, when many people are reborn in hell, animal world, or ghost world, in a miserable place, you will be reborn in a happier destination. You will be reborn in a heavenly world, and you will meet Kalyanamitas again, Dhamma friends again, and you will get the opportunity to continue your Dhamma path there. Why you were experiencing problems in this life? You had to go through lots of pain, maybe due to the bad karma, bad actions done not in this life, but in past lives. So you cannot command the results. So saying, okay, the results of those bad karma should not come to me because I am doing good things now. You cannot command like that, because karma is also non-self, anatta, out of your control. It is controlled by the natural law. So that is important to understand. And also, Buddha has always taught that if we do not follow the Noble Eightfold Path, if you do not on the spiritual path of attaining stages of enlightenment, this is the pain, this is the suffering we need to experience again and again. This is the nature of this existence. Remember the sutta? Buddha taught when we got killed in past lives, when our loved ones got killed in past lives, the tears we have shed, remember? The stream of tears is greater than the water in the great ocean. So, how many times we have faced these tragedies in our own life? Countless. So this is the nature of this existence. That is why Buddha didn't want beings to continue this journey. If we continue this is what you are going to see everywhere. You know, children starving, people are dying, people are fighting, people are killing. This is what you are going to see. But you will see a kind of happiness as well, entertainment as well. But when compared to the greater misery, the greater pain, that entertainment part, that happiness, that joy, that part will be very, very little. So the suffering will be always greater. That's why Buddha realized this Nibbana, the freedom from suffering. This liberation is the only solution. So a being should stop this journey. One should escape from all the realms, and that is by attaining Nibbana. Nibbana means cleansing your mind from all defilements. There is a path to do that, which is the Noble Eightfold Path.
Well, the problem here is that not even 10% of the world's population are exposed to the Eightfold Path or know about it.
Right.
And also earlier you said that people see the solution in killing. Are we saying that people are inherently bad born, or is it the condition that makes us?
It's the condition called ignorance. Ignorance and craving.
Well, that's what we are being taught. That's what we know. How can we pass this on to 10 billion people who don't hear about this?
That's when the Buddha appears in the world, that's the duty of the Buddha. Buddha spread this message to thousands and thousands of people who lived at that time in India. And Buddha was very successful. Many people started following it, practicing non-violence, keeping 5 precepts, attaining stages of enlightenment. But after Buddha's passing away, it completely disappeared from India, and it was well preserved in Sri Lanka. And from Sri Lanka, it went to the West, into other countries. And I think still many people are following it and looking for it. But Buddha taught that only very few people, always in this world, that is also like a natural law. Only very few people always have the access to this truth. And the nature of the world is it is immersed in ignorance. It's immersed in unwholesomeness. That's the nature of the existence. So it is very dangerous. Existence is very dangerous.
Monte?
And that's why we need to understand that this opportunity is very rare. Is
Bante?
somebody have a question?
Yeah, Monte, so would it be correct to say that monasteries and the Sangha could not survive in this day and age without the layperson support?
Not only this time, but always. The monastics cannot exist or last without the support of lay people. It's mutual support, through the mutual support.
So isn't it like a cycle then? So lay people now support the monks, your monastery, every monastery, and eventually you're going to move on because you're on the path. And when people that are lay people now take over your position, and isn't it like a cycle of that goes?
Not like that, but if it is a cycle, then you have to wait. Because you support monks and you help them to attain liberation, you wait and your chance comes. It's not like that. We both go together. We both go together. You support the monks and you also, at the same time, you follow the path. Maybe the monk, let's say a group of monks attain arahantship maybe. And as the lay people, you attain first stage of enlightenment, second stage of enlightenment, like that. It happens simultaneously. Okay, sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.